Good morning, good evening, good night, everybody, wherever you are in the world. Welcome once again to another session of Living World of Darkness. This is a crossover scene between the vampire venue and the mage venue. See, in the past couple of weeks, let's say, there is a certain correspondence mage that's been poking his way through a certain Brujah's cell phone. And finally figuring out that, hey, I should probably do something about this. Limey has contacted his single contact in Queens, the only one, well, the one that messaged him teasingly almost directly after, referring to him as an Iron Phage. The two exchanged some pretty cryptic text messages before he received an invite. Interestingly enough, this invite does not lead him to anywhere in Queens. In fact, it leads him somewhere in lower Manhattan, a certain monument, a very largely public space called the Woolworth Building.
Up outside the Woolworth building, there pulls up a black Aston Martin. I've forgotten the exact model. Amachan never quite told me, but it's one of the newer models. I think it's post Vanquish. There is a well-suited gentleman driving. And beside him sits the suit and a booted figure known as the Limey around these parts, wearing a leather flight jacket with like a baker boy cap and a pair of like beige stay press with like sort of oxblood brogues. And he steps out of the car, sort of smoking idly as he sort of checks to make sure he got the address right, and then looks up at the Woolworth building and sort of like shakes his head like for fuck's sake, and then sort of puffs on his cigarette and tosses it to the curb as he steps inside.
As he steps inside, Tomi, of course, in the penthouse suite as usual, sees a little ping on the security computer warning her of a reality deviant's presence in here. She sort of pokes around the computer for a minute and then shrugs, walks out of the bedroom, down the elevator for several minutes, and eventually she steps out. She'll look around for the Limey and wave him over. You're muted.
Thank you. He sort of sees her appear in the elevator and sort of points up at the ceiling before sort of looking around, like shrugging his shoulders sort of questioningly.
Tomi nods and like just waves like, get the fuck in here. As the elevator door begins to close, she kind of reaches her arm out to keep it open.
He walks quite quickly over to the elevator. It's not that he's walking at a brisk pace, it's that his long legs seem to conquer the distance very, very quickly. And he sort of slides into the elevator.
Hey, Iron Phage. And she'll watch as the elevator door closes, and she'll take a moment to sort of like scan the keypad, and she will hit the 54th floor. She'll sort of wait. It is a fairly long elevator ride because it is a very big building.
What kind of music's playing in the elevator?
Really generic elevator music. There's really nothing that special about it.
He sort of like taps his foot to the muzak kind of distastefully, sort of out of time, and looks around the elevator and then looks at her, like sort of, and he leans against the wall next to her.
The elevator is a tiny elevator. There's really nothing that special about it, although you do see a big black camera staring you in the face.
But as he walked into the elevator and saw it, he'd have pulled his cap down so his face isn't on it.
She looks at him. She kind of like shakes her head, and then she looks up at the camera and waves at it. And eventually they both make it to the 54th floor. and she'll step out. It appears to be just like a very, very big sort of living room type place. It looks like a meeting room. And of course, several cameras. There is a fireplace that is not lit. And above the fireplace is a very expensive, very fancy looking, very big rifle.
Well, this is nice.
Well, thank you. I figure since we're doing like official business or whatever, we might as well do it in a nicer place than my garage.
So what, you rent this place out, or
I own this place.
you own the Woolworth building? Yeah, right.
She just kind of like shakes her head, and she'll walk over and kind of plop down on one of the obnoxiously fancy couches. So, you met the intern, or you were contacted by the intern, or something along those lines, right?
Your intern hacked into the phone of a dead colleague of mine. Funny, because the phone should have been destroyed in a fire, but weird things happen. You dig?
I dig. He told me about it. Actually, it was kind of weird. He was showing me all the stuff, and like, I saw the phone number and I recognized it. And I was like, oh shit, that's Dracula's phone number. So now it's my job to play diplomat.
Could you tell him not to poke through my business again, please? If he wants to get hold of me, he can just do it off a payphone.
Um, See, the thing with that is if you tell the intern not to do something, he'll immediately start doing it.
So the intern is, I assume, your subordinate. Like he's not as important as you.
Tommy just kind of shrugs. What makes you think I'm important? Looks around the Woolworth building. Innocent smile. She looks like a little bullshitter.
Limey looks around the room and then looks back at Tommy with a like it's like a smile that it's not a smile actually. It's like yeah, all right, yeah, very funny. Like cut the shit. What makes me say that is that the love child family supposedly a rather big deal. At least your boss seemed to think he was. And from the looks of the place, it looks like you've inherited at least a small portion of his power. That aside, with a name like the intern, it's not too difficult to work out that somebody's at the bottom of the pecking order. That's what an intern is. Motherfucker probably doesn't even get paid. He sort of leans in towards the gun on the wall. So, you are more important than him. Tell him not to look through my phone, please.
Alright, if you say so. I suppose it's always what you make of it. She'll look up at the gun too and kind of grin. The gun is probably bigger than she is.
That yours?
Yup.
Ever shot it?
A few times. Admittedly, the kickback is kind of insane, so it doesn't get a lot of use, but it's really fancy, especially with that. She sort of points to a weird big black box on top of it. That thing.
What's in the box?
Some like super fancy, crazy experimental military technology. I. She waves her hand. So, what did
Well,
he contact you about anyway?
he just told me he wanted to talk. When he mentioned that he knew you, I figured he might be one of your lot.
Yeah, you could say the intern's mine.
Good. Any idea what you might want to talk to me about?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Any idea what you might want to talk to me about?
Yeah, sort of. We talked really vaguely about your little problem. He told me the Shabbat are giving you a real headache.
I don't know about headache. The beautiful thing about the Sabbat is that they like to make it look like they're giving you a real headache when really they're the only ones whose numbers have been dwindling. The problem is that the ones that left quite deeply entrenched. You need to pick at them to get them out. Soon enough, their territory will be dragged out from underneath them, but the problem is the ones who, well, the one. And he looks down at the floor, and his gaze seems to penetrate it. He sort of looks around, then walks over to the window and looks out, and looks down at the floor again. It's not their turf we're worried about, it's our turf. Gentleman named Blix, causing a few problems. He's clever enough to not come out in plain sight.
Blix. Do you have anything other than a name on this guy?
Nope.
Awesome. We can work with a name.
I know that his hangout is somewhere beneath Manhattan, guarded by a giant alligator. And warded. That means something to your type, from what I understand.
Are you shitting me? There's a sewer gator in Manhattan.
Oh, you didn't know? There's lots of sewer gators in Manhattan.
Really?
They've been breeding.
Seriously? Tommy actually, she looks excited over the thought of sewer gators being real.
All right, dragon lady, calm your shit. They're real. They're a pain. They're a threat. Not really so much to people like me, but well, you know what ordinary folk can be like when faced with this sort of thing.
Yeah, I know. The whole secret thing. I get it. I get it by now.
So,
So, sewer gators, wards, Blix. Do you know where they are? Like the wards and shit?
one of my people on it, she came back, but not herself. You dig? You probably wouldn't get much sense out of her, from what I understand. Besides, the person looking after her wouldn't let you get within a mile. I'm not saying you couldn't go through them, of course, but I prefer it didn't come to that. The thing is about us is our wars last for a long time. Because if you're smart, you don't go throwing all your eggs into one basket and leading on mass attacks. You play it smart, and it's a very large scale game of chess with a very big board that can take a very long time. Problem is, when you start introducing new players, things start to get convoluted, you dig? So, whilst his concern is appreciated, can't have other people going and sorting our problems for us.
Well, like, at a point, it becomes all of our problems. And Tommy's actually gonna look around. Where did I put it? And she's going to sort of reach behind a desk and like pull out a manila folder. I had the intern run some numbers, and she's going to pull them out, and you'll see sort of an expected growth map. There's a red bit on Staten Island, and it's sort of growing all over the city. If things continue in the pattern that they've been continuing in, this red, your Shabbat, will be infesting this whole place. And we'd rather get the exterminators in before it's too late. You dig?
No. Your intern's numbers are wrong. He looks at the chart and it sort of looks complicated, and he sort of looks it up and down with sort of a disregarding glare. He may be running numbers, but I can tell you that whilst you think they're spreading out, unfortunately, their power base is crumbling beneath them. Key players have been noted. They need to be taken out. They won't be able to spread anymore without us noticing. There's only a couple who are creating any kind of waves over the rest of the city, and thankfully they'll be dealt with rather soon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your people have some rather interesting abilities. If they did want to get the exterminators in, then I'm sure I couldn't stop you. But, well, can you roll me a can you roll me 5 dice? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. 2 successes.
He sort of looks around the room. And he looks Tommy up and down. The thing is, with the Sabbat, it's not about getting to them as such as it's about getting to their pawns. There's something we're already managing. The only one who could be any lasting trouble that we ain't already got a bead on is Blix. Now, if you want to help with that, the favour would be much appreciated, but going in there and taking them out for us, no, that wouldn't do. We have friends sat in Central Park who it wouldn't do well for them to find out that we can't handle our own affairs.
Okay, I get you. Like I said, that's why we're not just running off gung ho to go kill all these guys. We kind of want to be something close to friendly with you, since the the Camarilla are the good guys. She kind of rolled her eyes. So
Limey remembers their previous talk, which is actually a lot more pleasant than they are now, and realizes that Tommy actually knows him better than he's sort of acting right now. And his shoulders kind of drop and he relaxes a little. And instead of wandering around sort of imperiously, he sort of takes a seat and sort of scratches his head.
I mean, I know acting like we're going to have some perfect alliance is kind of being too hopeful, but we're offering you an olive branch, man. If we can give you a hand with this. She shrugs.
Look, that would be real kind. The problem is that there's a lot of different things in a lot of different pies, and whilst you may own the Woolworth building, it's 2 successes on a streetwise, on an intelligent streetwise roll, enough to know that maybe the Lovechild family aren't making as many ripples as they appear to be, considering, but without trying to demean the Lovechild family.
I mean, you have a shit ton of influence, so with that, yeah.
Look, right. The one thing that makes us in any way credible to everybody else in this city is the fact that we have more fingers in more pies than everybody else. And whilst this is all very, very impressive, and you may have your hands on obscure military technology and a fucking monument, which, don't get me wrong, is incredibly impressive, there's more going on between the cracks than maybe you and yours know. And that's the sort of thing that me and mine understand intimately. So let's just say that for a little bit of legwork, I'm happy to give you a little bit of framework. You help me, I'll help you. Because you have a lovely, lovely setup. You just need to start putting the right feet on the ground in the right places. How's that for an alliance?
It works for me. Look, our main concern is making sure people don't get eaten up by the bad vampires. Because in the end, we're all people. Shit, you're a people. You're just a dead people.
That's very kind of you. That's the nicest thing I've heard in years.
Really? That's really fucking sad.
Thank you.
Well, look, it sounds like a good plan. If you want to give us a hand with that, or give the Love Child family a hand with that, or whatever, it would be a great icing on the cake. But we just want to get this whole situation sorted out before we're living in fucking steak land or something.
Steakland.
It's a bad vampire movie.
I don't watch vampire movies.
Really? You don't? Because, like, I figured you guys would get some amusement out of that.
Don't get me wrong, I mean, Blade wasn't bad. There was this thing, we all went to see it ironically one night. I was young. I wasn't young.
See, I knew there was a person in there.
Oh, thanks. Right. I understand it's inconvenient. Generally, you don't hear so much about involvement of other people involved in the wars that go on in other cities of the world. I mean, New York is a bit of a hub. Generally, we can wage our wars and it doesn't really affect anybody else's operations. But let's just say me and mine would like to smooth this all out as soon as possible. It's just our idea of soon ain't exactly everybody else's idea of soon.
Yeah, we're hoping more for our idea of soon.
Well, look, with the pieces as they sit now, the big problems could be taken out within 2 months, your time. The only one who'd provide substantial resistance would be Blix, who right now, no matter who I send after, he just seems to keep on slipping away. From what I understand, his home is somewhere beneath the streets of Manhattan. I can go to a tunnel which I know leads to, well, certain things.
Okay.
Might go in the direction of their haven. So I'll give you a general location. It could be further away from there, but I'll do my best. I know it's trapped. I know it's warded. I know there's something guarding it. If you could get rid of what's in our way without actually alerting him to it, then, well, that would be much appreciated.
Alright, so basically what you're looking for, locate this guy, fuck with his wards, fuck with his traps, fuck with this apparent sewer gator, and clear you guys a path to finish the job.
Yeah. That'd be real sweet of you.
Alright, give me 1 sec.
Calm your dog down.
Alright,
It's cool, man. Why is he all upset?
no, there's just someone outside and they're barking really loud. Just give me a minute. Okay. Where were we? Right, clearing you guys a path so that you can finish things up and it'll look like you handled your own shit.
Hmm. Oh, and there's one more thing.
Shoot.
You there? You there, dude?
Yeah, I'm here.
More thing. There was something. Do you remember all those sewer workers who went missing a few months back?
Uh,
About 20 people.
oh yeah, there was a news article about it.
Yeah. Now I know that there's a tunnel, which leads to something rather disturbing. It's a monstrosity of sorts. Lots and lots of bodies fused together and lobotomized to form a giant hulking behemoth. I
Ugh.
believe it's their kind of yeah, yeah. I believe it's kind of their get out of jail free card. In case everything goes wrong, they release that thing into the streets. The plan was to have it dealt with by our friends in Central Park, but uh, there's a little less bad blood between us, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Aren't you guys like mortal enemies or something, like Underworld style?
Mortal enemies.
You know.
Yeah, but generally we leave each other alone in this city. We don't want to get torn apart any more than they want their precious park paved over.
Fair enough. Okay. Bunch of bodies fused together. Yeah. Anything else you can tell me about this thing?
Giant, strong, scary, powered by very powerful blood.
Great. Well, you know where it is. With some prep work, we could probably take it out. Or arm you to take it out, whichever you prefer.
Trust me. That is one thing I don't want my people going anywhere near. Those things are designed to tear through people like us.
Alright. Hey, welcome
Sorry
back.
about that.
Alright, so we'll see what we can do about this monstrosity you guys are dealing with. And tracking down your friend.
Oh, pardon?
We'll see what we can do about tracking down this Blix guy. I'll get the intern on it. We should have some results in hours time, honestly.
Now listen, the one thing I gotta say, okay, like I said, it's quite delicate. This isn't werewolf shit where I don't know. You've got the big bad, and you can charge in all claws and brimstone and rip them apart. It's delicate, you dig? Um,
Okay.
Anything that happens in regards to this operation, I'd be most appreciative if I could be kept up with. You dig?
You got it. I'll be sure that you know when shit goes down.
Thanks. Now, what can I do for you? Just to say thank you. I realise uh, return to normal business would be rewarding of itself, from what I understand, but this is all real kind of you, and I figure I want to keep the mighty Lovechild family on side.
The mighty love child family. Alright, I'll stop bullshitting you. You obviously don't believe that.
Oh no, I believe that you, I believe you're incredibly formidable. I believe your boss was more formidable still. I think you've got nobody on the ground. I think you've got no pull in the underworld itself. I think the name means something, could command some respect, but
The name means
mm,
something. It still does, depending on who you ask. But if you want to help me sort of round up our old soldiers, get some boots back on the ground, I'd really appreciate it.
I can certainly do that. Who are your old soldiers? Did you have a street gang that ran for you lot, or
Well, I have a street gang that I'm kind of friends with already that I can get looped into the deal. We're looking for something more legit. We're not looking for being a petty criminal family. You catch my drift?
no, no? But the mightiest underworld boss needs petty criminals to, well, keep the rivals intimidated. You dig? Mobsters are scary, but 20 hood rats armed with Uzis and firebombs has a way of making even a triad shake in his boots. But what you're saying is you want another family, you want a legitimate empire. It's far easier to take one over than it is to take one yourself.
Well, the thing is, we had a family. It was there. It just got disbanded when our figurehead did something stupid. We're looking to make connections with these people again, get them back on board.
You got any names for me?
I could find some files.
Find me the
If
files, get them to me, and I'll make sure they get to you.
great. And in return, we'll help you take care of this problem.
Groovy. Thanks very much for your time, Dragon Lady, but the night draws on and service, well, service needs to be careful of that sort of thing.
Yeah, of course. Anything else I can do for you?
Yeah, let me take a look inside the box. He sort of walks towards it with a mischievous glint in his eye.
You want to shoot the gun?
Oh, I'll shoot the gun. What was the was the box and the gun two separate things, or is the box just its ammunition or something?
The box is connected to the gun.
Do I want to shoot the gun? I definitely want to shoot the gun.
All right. There's a shooting range on the 56th floor. I'll I'll give you a few minutes with it. And she's gonna go and she will pick the big terrible gun up and put the box under one arm and lead him to the elevator.
Lyle will sort of smile and he will look probably more excited than she's seen him look before. Like at this point, there is even a little bit of color in his cheeks, and he doesn't look like such a boring asshole.
And, as the elevator door closes, she'll sort of hoist the giant hunk of metal and she'll hand it over. And the two will probably spend quite a while messing around with this experimental technology. And I think that's a good place to end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching.